So the big question is this: how do most agents who struggle to get the information that most successful agents hoard to themselves grow and prosper without this information? That's the big question, and this video cast is the answer. Welcome to Real Estate Rockstars. I'm your host, Pat Hyben. Congratulations to the following brokers: Ameriteam Realty, Dunes Properties, Impact Real Estate, Long and Foster. Yeah, that's a big one. 11,000 agents. Plum Tree Realty, Real Estate Professionals, Realty Ohio, Remax Advantage, Remax Essential, and Agent Strong all have taken action and negotiated steep discounts on Rebus University's award-winning courses for all of their agents. And if you're an agent at one of those companies and you haven't been to Rebus University yet, go to rebusuniversity.com and click on the link that says a Rebus Preferred and see what your company has done for you. Man, you're going to be impressed. If you want unpublished pricing for all of your agents like these brokers have done, go to hybendigital.com/teams or simply pick up the phone and text or call Catherine Brower at 843-749-9900. And now for the review of the day. Okay, got one here on iTunes for the Real Estate Rockstars podcast. It says, fantastic content, 5 stars by Red Anchor Properties. I recently found the Pat Hyben podcast, and I've been really getting great value. I'm from Maryland like Pat, and it's awesome to hear from a local guy. The guests Pat has shared are amazing. The knowledge they share is amazing as well, and it really helps me provide a motivational spark for myself. I am building my business from a business owner standpoint versus a sole proprietor, and the recent guests have really helped me realize that I'm not crazy for going this route. Thanks to Pat for all your amazing guests. Kudo, 5-star Red Anchor Properties. Thank you for listening, Red Anchor. Keep the comments coming, guys. I love them. And remember, I eat feedback for breakfast, so give me a 1-star review if you want, or a 5-star review if you want. I don't care. And the more reviews we get, the better guests we get. So please, subscribe first, and then leave us a review or wherever you're listening. All right, Rockstar Nation, man, we have a great guest today. And listen, if you are listening to this on a podcast, I highly recommend that you go, when you get the chance, to iTunes video. Like on your phone, you could, there's a selection now on your phone where you can watch these on video, or just go to YouTube or go to hybendigital.com, and it can take you to our videos of this. But you need to see this episode on video because of the screen and the background that our guest is using that I'm looking at right now. It's phenomenal. Now, audio, it's still going to be an awesome show, and you're going to learn a ton. But even if you just watch it for a couple of seconds on video, it's kind of a sight to see. But anyways, we're going to talk all deep down today about real estate agents and them saving time and money and making more money and creating more time for their families by doing things virtually, right? We've had a couple guests on. We had one guest on that lives in Mexico, runs a whole team in Dallas, making a couple $1 million doing that. We've had all kinds of people. The owner of EXP Real Estate and the CEO have come on talking about getting rid of your bricks and mortar and being a virtual agent. And we've had a lot of stuff on here about being virtual and the benefits of it. So my guest today, Doug Devitre, is an awesome guy. He's been teaching real estate agents and been in the real estate game, used to be a real estate agent himself for years. And he's all about building agents' businesses by teaching them how to do it better, screen to screen. So without further ado, Doug, welcome to Real Estate Rockstars.
Thanks, Pat. I appreciate you having me, and it was great meeting you in Orlando. What a great opportunity to learn from some of the brightest minds in marketing. So.
Yeah, Doug and I went to the ClickFunnels convention so we could learn more about how to build our online business. Me for Rebus University in this podcast, and him for his business. And I put out they had a Facebook online chat room, and I said, hey, anybody in real estate or online sales that trying to learn stuff about online sales, hit me up. And he binged me in about a minute and says, hey, let's connect, bro. And then we ended up connecting for breakfast several times, and saw each other every day. So it was awesome. So anyways, Doug, let's why don't you tell everybody, because I know you now, why don't you tell everybody about yourself so they can get to know you better?
Thanks, Pat. Well, a little bit of background is I started in real estate in 2004. And through my own professional development, taking a lot of the designations and certifications, and I went through Toastmasters, right? And in doing Toastmasters and getting really good at improving my craft and real estate, and I was really good at technology and marketing. This is 2004. The internet was just really getting started then, in our business. And people started asking how much you charge. And I know you can make a living doing that. So what ended up happening is the more I did it, the better I got. And then, it went from local to state and national and international. I've been to a few countries now doing this. And really where the opportunity lies is being able to squeeze more out of whatever you have, whether it's the resources you have, you're operating a limited budget, whether it's your time, you like instead of, driving to Maryland where you are, we're meeting now through this technology. We just have all these new opportunities that really, if you're not aware of, or you haven't seen an innovative case study yet, like this screen was the background, like who knew you could do green screen with video conferencing?
Right. If you look at Doug's screen, it's like an episode of Black Mirror or something. He's like he's in his bedroom, right? But he has it almost looks like virtual furniture, and he's like a virtual background. You see his book called Screen to Screen in the background, has a little emojis, has a bestseller TV, McGraw-Hill education, all this stuff there. It's like, and he's like floating in the air. It's like an amazing technology. So this is great. So your basically job today, Doug, is to travel around the country and teach brokers, right? What are you teaching brokers?
Yeah, so what's interesting about screen-to-screen selling as a topic, right? Because we can go on a lot of different topics, but to have clarity on really what we're going to focus on today is, if we're looking at the broker, right? The broker is trying to recruit new agents, right? They're trying to train new agents.
Yep.
And they're trying to coach their existing team in order to be able to move faster in the marketplace.
Yes, right? All three of those things, indeed.
So what needs to happen is a lot of people will say, well, here's a tool, right? Well, here's Google. Remember Google Hangouts like a couple of years ago?
Oh yeah, people still use them.
He said, we want you to talk about Google Hangouts. I was like, no, this old news. Let's use Zoom. They said, no, we want to do Google Hangouts. So I was like, okay, fine, but you're leaving a big opportunity that now we'll have to circle back in a couple of years. So these are the conversations, I'm still having with high-level brokers, the ones that own and operate multiple offices.
Right.
Is trying to change the paradigm in terms of what they've already committed their resources to, and say, hey, wait a minute, there's actually a cheaper way, and there's a faster way to implement some of these things. So, the tool is really a big component of this. And I'll also say, secondly, is the process on how you use the specific tool, right? So the process for recruiting is going to be a little bit different from the process for training, or the process is going to be a little bit different for coaching. So what has to happen from an organizational development standpoint, when we implement a process that supports a tool like this, we have to understand the ins and outs and have checklists for our team to be able to follow. So there's expectations set up front. Something that you've done really well on your podcast, Pat, just kind of pat you on the back, is you set out the expectations for an interview or your podcast. Now that's very helpful. That's just one simple example that helps make this type of operating in this type of environment easy. There's research done a couple of years ago that says that the average online meeting like this takes 10 minutes for it to start on time. So
10 minutes, okay.
So 10 minutes late. for every single meeting. I mean, can you imagine?
I agree with that. And you know, here's the thing now, and I'm all about meat and potatoes on this show. So the more specifics we can use, the better. But I used to do all my shows on Skype, and you know, the guests were so elementary, like on a scale of 1 to 10 on being able to set up a Skype account. They were all like 2s, and be able to get on Skype. It was absolute disaster. We started every meeting at least 10 minutes late. Many people missed it who couldn't do it because it took them 45 minutes, and then I had another recording to do. And then I switched to Zoom, and I found that the reason that Zoom works a lot better, which Doug and I both recommend, is that number one, it sets it up so you can send someone a link like a third grader can understand, right? They get emailed a link and it reminds them like 10 times that they're going to have to do it on Zoom. They click the link, you know, they might have to download a widget or whatever, but that takes a second. And it opens up. So anybody can do it. And you could call in if you want. And you can hit one simple button and record it. And you can hit another simple button and share your screen. And if you want to pay a little extra money, you can start having hundreds of people on there and or start doing a Facebook Live on Zoom where you can record it, because and I don't mean to keep going here, but the Facebook Live screen recording thing is an absolute disaster. They haven't got the kinks worked out. I've tried it several times. I hate it. So anyway, Zoom allows you to do all of that. And what I want to do now is talk to you about how real estate use Zoom to get more deals.
And Pat, I think the audio cut out a little bit. You were asking how real estate agents can use this to make more deals.
Yeah, let's talk about it. How can they use Zoom and video, screen-to-screen selling to do more deals?
Perfect. So I think what we have to understand is like, who is our customer, and are our customers operating or willing to operate in this environment? And if they're not, you know, don't force it, right? Because somebody says, you know, I don't feel comfortable in this type of environment yet, or you're trying to send them a link, they're not tech savvy. Guess what? You know, it's going to end up, you know, blowing up. So I probably warn you against that, because it's going to work against you.
You can suggest it though, right? I mean, you could suggest it. I mean, I tell people, I make it seem easy. I'm like, hey, let's do video. Here's what I say. I say, let's do video. I believe credibility, which it does, right? Because you see them, you see their mannerisms, you see their faces. I think it adds credibility, and I feel more connected to people, right? And I say, listen, here's my Zoom room, 1710. I hang out here all day. So I make it seem like I'm in the office all day, but I'm in my Zoom room. I just keep it open some days, right? Like my Zoom room, 1710, I'll be like, come on in anytime you want. I'm here, and I'll be minding my own business, returning some emails, and bing, bing, and it says, Doug is at your door. Hey, let me let Doug in. Or I can choose not to let Doug in. But it's less intrusive than like a client just FaceTiming you out of the blue, right? Imagine like a client FaceTiming you at 7 o'clock on a Tuesday. It just feels awkward, right? But if you say, hey, I'm in my Zoom room every day from 10 to 12, pop in any time. I mean, I think that that's where the world is going. And I think that a lot more agents that are smart are having office hours, even on Facebook Live. You know, I'm starting to do that with my Facebook groups, my paid and my free Facebook groups. I'm just being like, hey, I'm going to be on Tuesdays at 10. Pop on anytime. By the way, I'm going to create a commercial and let everybody listen and know when I'll be on. And we do have a Real Estate Rockstars Facebook group, guys. If you're not already on it, join it. And I'm going to be giving free coaching on that on certain office hours, just like my Zoom room, where anybody could just pop on and ask Pat Hyben a question. I'd love to have you on. Anyways, so like, what are some other ideas that real estate agents can do besides just having a town hall for all their clients to pop on at any given time, certain hours of the day or certain hours of the week, or doing a Facebook Live for all of their clients in a special Facebook group called Doug's Clients Only? What are some other ideas?
Well, and to kind of clarify, because I think what ends up happening is we have all these different options and like what makes most sense. So to give you a good process or rule to follow by is that Facebook Live, Periscope, or some of the other broadcasting tools are good for awareness. Zoom specifically is good for conversion. So if we're going to have like
write that down.
Yeah, so Facebook Live is more for awareness, Zoom is more for conversion. So if we want to have a conversation of more about you, where I'm asking you questions and listening and observing your body language to make sure that it's congruent with what you're saying.
I want you to think about the word toolbox. What is a toolbox? A toolbox is a box full of tools that you use to build something great. At Real Estate Rockstars, we've created our own free toolbox. So everybody that comes on the show as a guest brings a tool with them, and we plow them all into this toolbox, and we give it away for our viewing audience to basically use as they wish. Everything we put in there is an actionable item that can be downloaded, can be printed, can be used immediately. And we got things like scripts and dialogues, checklists for teams, checklists to keep agents accountable, referral forms that are filled out at settlement to get referrals by your buyers and sellers. Everything you could think of that you could use on a regular basis about real estate is included in this toolbox. And it's helping agents worldwide sell more houses and make their jobs a lot easier and processes much more efficient. And the thing is, it's absolutely free. All you got to do is go to hibandigital.com/toolbox or text the word toolbox to 444-999. That's toolbox 444-999. Do it now.
Private conversation, we can kind of get to the point, Roop, and then move you, a little bit closer towards the, the end of the transaction. Also think about this. If you're working with out-of-town buyers or relocation buyers or investment buyers who there's multiple decision makers who can't show up and can't be in the same place, what we need to understand is and also be flexible enough of different types of office environments so that it's our head that's on the projection screen or on the big screen TV in the boardroom who's trying to influence a decision with multiple stakeholders. So not only is it just one-on-one, but can be one-to-many who are in the same physical room with one another. So there's a lot of nuances that are a little bit different from just being face-to-face in the same room that you need to be aware of because the technology obviously has an impact for that.
Okay.
I can go on. So here's
going. I mean, like, yeah, like, what else? Like, what else? Should agents be thinking, hey, I'm going to do listing appointments. I'm going to do buyer appointments. I'm going to do price reduction appointments. I'm going to do contract presentations. How much of this should they be doing on a video screen versus face-to-face?
I would say as much as you possibly can, as long as it's in the customer's best interest.
Okay, that's kind of ambiguous. I mean, here's the thing. I think that, I hate to say this, right? But I think once you got them hooked, you should try to use screen as much as possible. I would say, look, if you're competing against two other big agents, don't do a Zoom to Zoom listing appointment. Go face to face, right? Get the contract signed. If you're meeting a buyer and you want to build rapport with them, and they can meet you face to face, do it face to face in the beginning. But after you got them hooked, I think that screen is awesome. It's kind of like, here's the thing. Once I know somebody, right? Once I'm good friends with somebody or I love somebody, I could FaceTime them out of the blue and they won't think it's obnoxious, right? But like I said before, if I FaceTime a client that's been emailing me about listings, it's going to be kind of weird, right? Awkward, right? It's like we haven't had that first date yet. So I would almost say that your first date should be, if possible, face-to-face, unless it's just a Q&A, like you're going to call them anyways and you want to say, hey, tell me how many square feet you have in the house and what things have you done and all that. I think that you'd have more connection, and it would be more credibility if you did do that over screen. But eventually you'd get right to that listing appointment and do it face to face. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. As much as you humanly possibly can. And when it's in the customer's best interest is, I think, exactly what you pointed out. If it's a big deal, you don't know them and you have to build rapport fast. Obviously that's the best way to do it. But at times it's not always realistic, right? You've got that out of town buyer. Let's say that you're out of town and you can't, you want to have a meeting, but you're out of town. You're on a business trip, you're on a work trip, and you want to be able to have that meeting. So at the very least, this gives you an option that you never had before. Probably right now you're operating from your computer. I'm operating from my computer. But we could just as easily be using this type of technology from our mobile phones, and it's platform, like Zoom is platform agnostic. It doesn't matter if you're using Apple or you're using a Mac. Now that's my funny joke to myself. but
platform agnostic. I like the term anyway. So you could use it.
FaceTime, you need Apple to run FaceTime. You can't run FaceTime on Android. So Android is left out. And so
the cool part, I've had a lot of people be like, "Oh, I can't get it on my computer." I'm like, "No, it's a free app on your phone." They're like, "Oh, really?" And everyone has 50 apps, so it's just one extra app, right?
Yeah.
They don't realize how easy it is.
Yeah.
And I think that's the future, actually. I really think that the future is all calls are going to be FaceTime. It's going to be like, why would you call me the old-fashioned way? Why would you do audio only?
And so I think what we have to do is look at ways of being able to differentiate that experience, right? So
okay, so let's talk about that. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty.
Like, one example would be to have video, like that's a differentiator, just to be able to do this. Another differentiator would be having the green screen. Now, depending on who I'm talking to, I'll just do this real quick on my computer, as I'll change the background based upon who I'm talking to. So if I'm talking to my friends in Albuquerque, I'll pull this up, right? Because what does that show? It shows that I care, shows that I'm listening, shows that I'm into what they're doing. Even if it's for let's see. This was a conference I just did, so this was the background for the video that we recorded for the promotion.
That's awesome. So what he did is he put up a background of a bunch of hot air balloons. He's got a background of kind of like a castle in London or something. If he's with a European client, he's got one that says real estate review, some Kansas City Royals Stadium. If he's talking to somebody from Kansas City, whatever he wants, the background is there. And I'm starting to get people more and more that are just sending me videos, right? Just sending me videos instead of calling me.
Yeah.
And instead of, it's kind of like at ClickFunnels, right? Russell Brunson was talking about how his whole team uses Voxer, Voxer. And I know at EXP they use that a lot too. And it's a walkie-talkie where you just leave a message and it transports over to someone else's phone, kind of like slide dial.
Yeah.
And you can just kind of get what's on your mind out without having to stop and text. Is there anything like that for video that makes it so simple that you don't have to like set up a Zoom call or set up something where you could just hit a button, video, and you're not like texting a video? Is the only way to do that by texting a video?
Yeah, I guess maybe an individual one like Android has theirs, or FaceTime. That would be the only one that I think of. I'll give you another way to be able to differentiate these presentations or the training or the coaching, right? So what ends up happening, like in an environment, and this is what a lot of folks think screen to screen is bobblehead video, me talking like this, right? But what we can do is we can get into real quickly, depending on what we're going to share, right? If it's a contract or it's a website, I can quickly go to the setting on my screen and then open up a screen share like I would for a webinar, right? So this is just a website that I'm on real quickly. And so this is where you do product demos. This is where you would do, or maybe even somebody asks you on, the Zestimate, why aren't you pricing my house what the Zestimate is, or your price is too low? Then we could probably go into Zillow real quick, right? On the website, and I can actually show you why Zillow, or why the price on Zillow is going to be different than, you know, the CMA that I provided.
Show everything, yeah. And then you're not like
So you're actually able to show. Also, typically what ends up happening is presenters for training will do, you've seen the, you know, death by PowerPoint.
Yeah.
Where, you know, if we pull a PowerPoint presentation, you'll hit slide, next. So here's just, I'm going to kind of share this with you now because we're on it to kind of give you an idea. What do you see on your screen right now?
A circle, an oval, right? A smiley face.
Cool. And so what ends up happening,
glasses.
and so I pull up this just so you understand what I'm saying and we're on the same visual. So what ends up happening is like a PowerPoint presentation. There's all these different slides in an order that assume you need to know what I know in the order that you need to know it.
Yes.
Which is false, right? Like you don't go to a listing presentation and say, you know, this is what we're going to do for your marketing, and this is what we're going to price it at, and for the very first words out of your mouth. No, you're gonna do what? Like before you, it's like starting the interview. What are you gonna do?
Right, you're gonna introduce yourself. You're gonna walk around the house. You're gonna take notes.
Yeah, you're gonna ask them.
Here's my process. You know, first we're gonna do this. Second, we're gonna do this. Third, we're gonna do this.
And maybe these are the objections that you need to hit, not in your order, right? Like customers aren't supposed to know your lines. You've got it. Right. You have to do it in their order.
Yeah.
So even if we look at visuals, here's something to write down. You put in the show notes is that bulleted slides are gone with the tides. Now it's time.
Bulletin slides where you have little bing little circles showing this step one. Right. Okay.
So most presenters present with bulleted slides.
Yeah, it's funny because you and I just saw Anthony Robbins, and I noticed he was using bullet points, but that was probably an old presentation he's been using for a while. I was like, I'm surprised he was doing that, you know?
You know that, well,
it does put you in downtime a little bit, right? Because you feel like you got to take notes.
Well, if we're looking at ways to be able to engage screen to screen, we need to figure out different ways of differentiate that pull people in and engage them in the moment, right? Because if you're if you're off on your own tangent in a PowerPoint or on your own screen share and you're doing more talking than you are asking questions, and you probably lost the other person on the other line. So what these types of fill in the blank slides allow you to do is allow you to ask the question inside of your visual to help get them the answer.
And now a word from Rockstar agent and Rebus University graduate, Mr. Jeff Quinton.
Hello, my name is Jeff Quinton, and from Keller Williams, the Quinton Group. I service all of Southern New Jersey, and our expansion team is in the greater Philadelphia area. And just wanted to give a shout out to Rebus University, Pat Hyman and his crew. My team, what we've implemented right now is through our onboarding process, we have a learning management system called Learning Zen. And inside Learning Zen, in the very first 14 days when someone comes on our team, they have to go through and learn all the sales skills and sales training. And part of that is we require everybody to go through the Rebus University Certified Listing Agent course. And at the end of that, they've got to prove and got to come out and show us their certificate before they even get on the phone, before they even meet with a client, before they go out on any listing presentation. So what's interesting is that through this course, it's allowed me to leverage my time versus what it used to be, where I'd have to show them all of the listing presentations, spend time each individual, for 20 minutes at a time or 30 minutes at a time. So now I can leverage it through the Certified Listing Agent course and then go back and role play with them what they've learned. So what I've learned right now is that when an agent goes through this course, they feel confident. And that's the key, is the confidence is so built because they've been able to see someone else do it and then they practice it. And what's interesting is I've had so many agents. In fact, I've had over 20 agents go through this course and become certified. And a major portion of them go out on listing appointments when they're competing with another top agent and they actually win the listing on the first try. The skills, the techniques, the dialogues, and everything that they get from this course. It's pretty incredible.
If you want the same amount of listings and the same extremely high close ratio that Jeff Quinton's agents get, just type in the coupon code CLA50 on rebusuniversity.com. That's REBUS university.com for, get this, 50% off the Certified Listing Agent course. That's CLA 50. You won't regret it. Okay, wait a minute. Ask the question inside of your visual to help get the answer. Okay, break this down like a third grader can understand it. What are you saying in the realm of a agent that is on a video chat with a buyer that they have not met? Give me a real life example of what you're talking about here.
Okay. So if for the majority of the conversation, somebody I haven't met, I would try to connect with them on an emotional level.
Okay.
Before I would
show pictures of your cats and kids and stuff.
I've got Alexa here. We would have some fun with Alexa and make it real for them. Yeah. This is the show. I don't know if you've seen that, but this is a fun way I use to engage people that I haven't met before.
What is it? It's a frame of your son.
No, this is Amazon Alexa. This is the Echo Show. You know the smart speakers?
Yes.
This is like the next thing compared to mobile apps were 10 years ago. And we could do a whole nother interview on this because it's changing the game of real estate. What is it? By the year 2020, 50% of search will be done through voice.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother conversation for another time.
Yeah, absolutely. But anyways, so you're going to build rapport. So you're going to say, rather than say, I think the way you do is tell me about yourself. Oh, really? Okay. And then you're like, well, let me just tell you about me and just so we can, have some connection here, or however you want to phrase it. That's probably too blunt. And say, listen, there's a picture of my daughter and this is a picture of the new puppy we got. And, now let's get down to business.
Perfect. So once you've gained the permission, you'll know because a customer will say this.
Okay.
Can you be more specific or tell me more about what you mean? So, and I'll dive deeper.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
So, let's pretend that you have this that you tell them that they have the CMA, right?
Okay. Right.
You got the CMA that you're presenting to them.
Yeah.
And you say, before I get to the CMA, have I answered any questions that you want to know before we look at this? Okay.
No. Let's get down to it. What's my house worth?
Okay, so what's my house worth? So I'll say perfect. Do you mind? And here's where it's important to ask for permission, because sometimes in these meetings we just have an expectation that.
Yeah, right. We're just going to run through them like a PowerPoint, right?
Can I? Do I have your permission to share my screen? That way we can save time and I can explain to you.
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
Okay, perfect. So then you would then go into screen share mode, and then you would pull up, let's say, the document. And for
the CMA, right? The CMA you prepared, you got it saved on your desktop, right? You show that. You pull up the tax records off the internet. You pull up their, Zestimate, whatever, right?
And then there's certain ways that you can start to highlight specific things to be able to show emphasis, or say, do you see where it's highlighted right here? Do you see?
And what Doug is doing is he's drawing circles. He's using a yellow highlighter, highlighting a price, highlighting a sold date, days on the market, stuff like that.
So what it does is allow you to draw emphasis on the point that you're trying to make, so there's no confusion. It's like, so have you ever had a conversation before where, like you've left the conversation and you're totally different place, or I'm sorry, what you thought you said versus what the other person actually does is completely different?
Yeah.
Or maybe you're missing
my life. I always walk away thinking, man, I convinced them. That changed their mind. You know what I mean? I definitely got I definitely persuaded them, and then the next day they sent an email that's like, I decided to stay the same or not do it or whatever. And I'm like, what the heck, man? Everything went so well. In my mind.
Yeah, and especially when you involve multiple decision makers in the process, it gets even more complicated.
Oh my God.
And then you want to throw in another element that it's not always relevant to everybody, but there's culturally diverse groups that are involved. You have a whole nother element to decision making that's important to have something with evidence to be able to show someone, especially when there's a culture who's very sensitive to, accuracy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I agree with that. And that's and you could always say, hey, and I'm recording this, for you, and I'm gonna email you a copy of this recording.
Well, I think that's a great point, Pat. And where I would warn, it depends on where you are in the U.S. because there's laws that are set up for recording, so that you want to ask somebody for permission to record if it's in their best interests too.
So when you start, say, listen, I don't have to record this, but a lot of my sellers or buyers or clients like to have the recording so they could go back and review it or show it to their spouse. Do you want me to hit that record button? It'll only take a second.
Yeah, and there's you just check your state laws on recording, and they'll tell you whether it's mandatory or not to disclose.
Yeah, or you could just say, and when you start the recording, say, Doug, just to repeat, you've given me permission to record. Yes,
Yeah.
And I've seen them do that. So that's cool. All right, so Doug, let's talk about this. Like, as you know, everybody that comes on the show brings a free gift for our Rockstar Nation. That gift is usually an item of utility, a download, something people could use, like a checklist, something they can use in their business that's going to make them more money. What are you going to provide our Rockstar Nation as a free gift today?
Yeah, you bet. Well, I've got multiple free gifts.
Hey, bring them on.
So I can't send everybody a book. But what I will do is help you quantify the economic impact of what we're talking about. Dollars and cents. There's the tangible value. There's the intangible value. With screen-to-screen selling, breaking it down. That's in Chapter 1, and I'll give you Pat access for everybody to download Chapter 1 at the very.
Okay, that's awesome, dude. Yeah.
Also,
can you send me a PDF? Send me a PDF, not a link. That'd be great.
I'll make it really easy. Also, I just did a program, not last week, but 2 weeks ago in Los Angeles. Very first time I've done this program called Living in a Voice First World. This is on
Living in a Voice Verse World. What does that mean?
Oh my gosh! So voice technology
is, right? So it's a song.
Real estate by storm, and it's at its infancy stages right now. People when I asked everyone in the room, there's probably close to 500 people in the room. I was like, raise your hand if you have a smart speaker. And ironically, there's about probably at least 50% of the people had one. And I said, keep your hand up if you know how to use it. And then most of the hands went down, right? So it's just like social media was 10 years ago. We have this, but we don't know what to do with it. There's concerns about privacy. What are they going to do with the information? Is there time? But at the same time, when you think about usability wise, it's a whole lot easier to say, I'm gonna mute her, Alexa, give me this information, than it is for me to go onto a website, try to log in.
Oh God, yeah.
The information. It's like that. So Amazon uses a stateless technology, allows the answers to come to you just like that. And we as marketers have the ability to program the conversation or the narrative. So what I can do is I can give you the slides from that presentation.
Okay. Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, thank you.
You can download, and then there's several skills that I have on Amazon that are specific to real estate, like an office policy, where you can ask Alexa about your real estate office policy. There are over 500 real estate terms on demand by asking Alexa. So this is all information that we know or should know in the real estate industry. It's just a matter of being able to program it in a conversational interface so people can get what they want and not, get caught in this doom loop of sometimes you get stuck in these online prompts and can never get out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right. All the time. So, all right, Doug. Well, this has been fun, buddy. So I'm going to put all of Doug's information on hybendigital.com/screen. SCREEN. That's hybendigital.com/screen, because I don't want you to misspell Devitre. So hibandigital.com/screen, and his contact information will be on there. His company will be on there. A link to his book, Screen to Screen Selling, will be on there as well, and as well as all the free downloads, the plethora of free downloads he's provided. And of course, guys, you can always get the free downloads along with tons and tons of other gifts that all our listeners, all of our guests have brought by going to hibandigital.com/toolbox and getting them out of the toolbox, or just text the word toolbox to 444-999, and I'll send you the entire treasure chest of gifts that the past 100 or so guests of ours have donated. Anyways, Doug, this has been a blast, buddy. Good luck to you in your future endeavors, and I look forward to seeing you at the next ClickFunnels event.
There you go, Pat. I appreciate you having me. It's awesome what you're doing and creating these episodes that I don't know if I've told you this, but I have been listening to them for the last couple of years, and I don't think I ever told you this before, but it's like man, Pat totally gets it. And it reminds me from way back when Howard Britton was running, a lot of what CRS did. Is like this is that type of information that top producers need. So kudos for you for keeping strong and committed to the industry in the way that you have.
Thanks, Doug. I appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you so much for tuning in to Real Estate Rockstars. If this free content is giving you a ton of value, I want to ask a small favor in return. I need you to pull out your pointing finger and hit the subscribe button. Yes, hit subscribe, please. The more subscribers that we get on Real Estate Rockstars, the better guests are attracted to the shows. We'll get more guests from the top companies, from the top teams, and even more celebrity guests like Robert Kiyosaki and Barbara Corcoran. Also, if you're not a member of our free Facebook group, go to Real Estate Rockstars Radio right on Facebook and join the conversation. I'm on there myself on FaceTime Lives, and we have a lot of communications and questions about the show, and I'd love to see you there. And it's free. People ask me all the time, where am I on social media? I'm real easy to find. Just type in my name. My IG is I am Pat Hiban. It is blowing up on Instagram, adding tons of subscribers, and I'm on there probably twice a day. So definitely follow me on Instagram, as well as everywhere else. Thanks again for listening, and keep rocking.